Okay, I'm going to read something and hopefully you all will understand where I'm coming from. It said Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner, who raked in $60 million last year as chairman of private equity firm and then spent $65.9 million to buy the governor mansion, is introducing an atrocity budget that will crush schools, cripple public higher education, worsen an already inadequate infrastructure, and hurt people who need help the most. He's cutting every critical social program in the state, beginning with child care for 160,000 low-income kids, and he's carefully crafting an economic crisis that will reduce the state tax revenue rather than extend a small tax increase that was enacted in 2011. For example, he's letting it expire, thereby requiring even more cuts that will hurt even more people. Meanwhile, he hates unions and wants to give local governments the authority to pass the right to work for less laws. Rauner has been described as Scott Walker on steroids, but that's probably being too kind to Walker. Democrats still control the Illinois legislature, but they and the remaining unions are being outspent and outmaneuvered. Why, oh why, is it so hard to mount a ringing defense to decency and fairness and condemn fat cats like Rauner who buy their way into power and then dump on average working people and the poor? The robber barons of the first Gilded Age paid off politicians to ransack the economy on their behalf. Now, in the second Gilded Age, they're becoming the politician. Now, I read this because it is a disappointment to me that we have come to this situation. It is going to affect the mass majority, even though those who did not vote for Rauner and those who felt the need not to vote will suffer with everybody else. How can you be in office and say and lie and say you're going to help the people? Now, who I really blame the most, and it's sad to say this, but it's true, it is those ministers who vouch for this man, knowing full well what he was going to do. The most saddened part about all this is that they pockets got lined very well. And some of them have even garnered some highly positions. Now, what I've heard is that even Rauner has employed his wife in a six-figure salary. Now, if the state of Illinois is broke and we need to redirect our funds, do you think that's a wise decision? First of all, I don't think any elected official should be allowed to hire any family or friends, period. It is unfair and is not fair across the board because now the playing field is not leveraged because you have somebody that will side with you, regardless if you're wrong or you're right. I don't agree with aldermen sitting in office until they die out or until they feel like they won't run again. I think their term should be limited to 2 terms. I don't agree with any elected official that hold office until they die. I do not give my consent to those who make the money and you want to kill the less fortunate. I got a problem with that. And we as people, as constituents, as voters who have rights, need to ream his behind on every turn. We need to step up and step out, make phone calls, email, text, pass it on to our friends because it's going to hit hard. And when you start cutting like he's talking about cutting, the first thing is going to happen, crime is going to increase and people are going to lose their job. This will have a domino effect. And this kind of action that you have lied to these people and they believed you, those who have 6 figures and above their accounts are fat, they won't feel the blunt of what you're trying to do. But it's the low income, the poor, the middle income that you going to reduce to low income who will feel the blunt of your stupid actions. And this right here should make anybody upset and angry and want to see something else besides what's going on here. And I've been tired of reading all these posts. I see them pop up everywhere and nothing that he said is positive. You killing the schools. Our kids are already suffering in schools, not only by the mayor and the governor too. So they're working hand in hand. And even though I love my president, I don't like him supporting Ron Manuel because he ain't did nothing and he's not doing nothing. And that's my opinion. And this is called Reality Is, and I'm keeping it real.